Yo, yo, yo. What's good? What's good? It's Stormy B Man, and I am back. Welcoming you to Friday Night Chop Session with Stormy B Man for this Friday, December 5th, 2025. This is number 207 in the series of Chop Sessions. I apologize about my glitches there, people. There's some things going on with this computer, and as I've spoken about it before in the past, I need to get some things ironed out, straightened out with it, but I don't know where to begin. And it's starting to squeeze me because I can't even open additional windows to get my show going like I would normally do. So things are a little choppy this evening. I hope that you guys can hear me. I'm listening on my playback in my ear. I can hear the feed playback. It's not choppy on the feed, but I do understand for you that's watching it out there in YouTube, it might be a little choppy. You may want to try to adjust your settings for the stream. Like if you watch it at 1080p, you might want to drop it down to 720 or something like that. I don't know. But there's a number of different things that can be done. But until I could get somebody to look at this for me, I'm going to continue to have some issues. So those of you who are strong enough, please bear with me, because don't think that I'm just doing this out of like, oh, I don't give a damn. There are things I just don't know how to fix, and I need help. So I tried to reach out, but as of this time, I've received no assistance in getting this taken care of. So yeah, we're calling this episode Cruz versus Roach Jr., the super lightweight interim WBC title. The fight is tomorrow, and there's been a little bit of a buzz leading up to this card. Initially, it started out as a tremendous card by PBC, where it's going to be broadcast on Amazon Prime. The fights that are listed for this promotion, they started out with great matchups, but some things have transpired where changes had to be made. One of the major changes is the fight that was supposed to take place for unification at middleweight between Janibek Alim Hunuli and Erislandy Lara. That fight has been canceled due to Alim Hunuli testing positive for banned substances. Again, we go with banned substances in the sport. It's very frustrating because we're seeing it more and more. It seems like almost every couple of fight cards or so that we're running into these circumstances. And it's obvious that the boxing community, the sanctioning bodies, the promoters, they're not assisting with trying to rectify or clear up this problem. In fact, they seem to be on the other side of things, where it's just not it's not getting straightened out. There was supposed to be a fight on the card, another fight And that was pulled due to someone, testing positive again. It's just, it's so frustrating, people. It's so frustrating. We're seeing this too much, all too much. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say about it. We're just seeing it more and more. And then there are a number of fighters who understand what's going on, but they won't speak up. I don't know if it's that they're afraid of retribution. I don't know, but there's a lot going on. The news in boxing this week has been geared toward a lot of unsavory things transpiring in the sport. From Terrence Crawford's viral video where he ranted against the WBC, the famed sanctioning body that has the green title belt, where he alleges that they were shaking him down for sanctioning fees. And when he refused to accommodate according to what they were asking of him, they decided to strip him of their title. In a profanity-laced tirade, Crawford decided to air his thoughts and feelings about the matter. And though I understand where he was coming from, I don't necessarily agree with how he went about articulating his thoughts, but he's a grown man. But he has to understand also that there will be objectives set against him as he moves forward. If Terrence Crawford decided to not box another time professionally, I would support that. Because if you give these folks a chance, they will try to get things done that are not so favorable for Crawford. Salute everybody in the chat. I'm skipping the roll call. We're having some streaming issues here, and I'm just trying to get through this. By now, I'm sure most of you have heard Crawford's tirade, so I'm not going to replay it. But we should have conversation about his talking points. And he basically questioned the sanctioning body about why is the amount that they're taking from a fighter's purse so great, and what is the money being taken for, and why are the sanctioning body employees enjoying benefits of travel, lodging, and dining on the fighters' sanctioning fees. That's a real strong point right there. And though Mauricio Suleiman tried to come out and dispute what Crawford was saying, what needs to be asked of he is that he produce receipts on what he proclaims to be the reasons that they draw these monies from the fighters, as well as where the money supposedly goes. Shout out to our brother Blue Blood Sport TV, where he did a video earlier this afternoon speaking on that very point. Produce some receipts on this. If you want to proclaim that you're using this for underprivileged fighters that are in distress or whatever, then show us. And I'm not saying like us, the fans, but show the fighters where their monies are going. Produce proof of that. As Eddie Hearn was known to say, proof of funds. We want to see proof of where the funds are being distributed to. Even in this photo, if you look at Suleiman, who is not the most handsome of men and is really pretty much a pig, Yeah, that suit that he happens to be wearing is pretty solid. Yeah. So there has to be something to what Crawford was saying. There's got to be something to it. Okay, are we back, family? Is this a little smoother? Okay, all right. I apologize for that. It required me to restart. That's why I asked just to bear with me, because now it's saying excellent connection, Jose. It was saying poor connection, so I had to do a restart on it. But I'll get right back into my point of talking about Stormbman needing to produce receipts, because if you want to allege that you're taking these fighters' monies and giving them toward beneficial circumstances to help the fighters, then yes, we need to see that. We need to see you produce. This is where this is going. Open up some books and let people see exactly what's being done. Do you guys remember a few years ago, when Errol Spence and Crawford were fighting for undisputed at welterweight? At one of the press conferences, Errol asked, "Where is this money going?" He raised that issue, and that was something at that time people kind of like glossed over it or whatever, but it's a necessary conversation, especially when you talk about someone who has shown such what's the word I'm looking for? It escapes me at the moment, but there is a word for Stormbman and what he's been doing, because it's unethical. You know, Stormbman has shown bias and prejudice toward fighters, and it is always in favor of the Mexican fighters. And we're talking about an international sport. That doesn't mean that he's been showing bias only against fighters that are not Mexican, but he has been showing bias toward fighters from different areas of the world and from different, let's just say, if they were ranked in different sanctioning bodies higher than what the WBC has them, because the WBC seemingly finds a way for the fighters of their favor to have grace. Canelo Alvarez went 6 years without facing his mandatory and eliminator challenger in David Benavidez. But as soon as Terence Crawford defeated Canelo, next thing you know, Stormbman didn't even present Crawford with his belt. He told you that in his rant video from a couple of days ago. The man has bent over backwards for Canelo. They created a franchise position for Canelo. Where is that franchise position today, people? Where is it? You see, when you talk about doing things like that, you're creating an avenue of privilege so that someone will have an easy go in a field where things get difficult, because there's constantly good fighters coming along all the while. There's always another good fighter on the way up. I can hear some choppiness returning here. I don't know what to make of that, people. It could be the weather. I don't know. But it is happening. But we'll try to make it through here. My studio is still saying I have excellent connection. So I'm just going to try to keep it going. But Stormbman has very poor ethics. I remember the story that he told laughingly about feeding Muhammad Ali, a devout Muslim, pork when he had come to their house when Stormbman was a young boy. And then when they offered him food, Stormbman thought it was funny because Ali didn't eat pork to serve the champ pork. And he found humor in it. That just shows the kind of person he was even as a boy. And if you look at him now, he's still not much to look at or consider as a man. I would like them to open books and show how much compensation they received from Canelo, seeing that he backed up bricks trucks to clear out several platforms of the boxing budgets, including the PBC, which will be fighting tomorrow. Several men on that card haven't fought in almost a year. Yeah, Jose Diaz, I believe that. He's been bad since birth. Don't like the games that they play because they try to make it seem like Crawford is a bad guy. But Crawford's been around the sport for a long time. And because he says something now, trying to draw the sentiment against him, there's tons of fighters who feel exactly like Bud Crawford, but they're in no position to speak out like he has. Yeah. And always remember, people, quiet mouths don't get fed. Stormbman is a villain in the sport of boxing. The way he has gone about things, he's made provisions for Canelo. I mentioned the franchise championship, raising the levels of banned substances so that even if there's a minimum amount found in the blood, you raise the levels, but raise the levels to what? And if it's a banned substance, meaning that it's not supposed to be in your body, it's not acceptable for the athlete to participate in the sport with this banned substance in his body. If there are low dosages of it, that means that he's cycling off of the product. All of the Mexican fighters that have popped dirty, WBC aligned fighters and fighters out of Eddie Reynoso's gym, where we have seen images of Stormbman hanging out in Reynoso's gym. Does he hang out in Ronnie Shields' gym? Does he hang out in Anthony Joshua's gym? Does he hang out in Erislandy Lara's gym? Did he hang out in Deontay Wilder's gym? He was hanging out with Daniel Kinahan, though. And when he was advised that Kinahan was more than likely on the run due to certain choices of lifestyle and what he's been engaged in business-wise, you state that you're not Interpol. Amazing that you know what Interpol is. So then when you saw the FBI poll that had the man on the most wanted list, you looked like a fool. Never mind that when Canelo was found to have had clenbuterol in his system, the amounts that were found would suggest that he would have had to eat a couple of cows. He's a multi-millionaire over because of the likes of you, Mauricio. So he could have a professional cook, chef, prepare all his meals where he wouldn't need tainted meat, eggs included. He's got the type of money that he could grow his own livestock and have the chef cook it and kill it in the backyard and cook it, right out fresh as can be. There's a lot to be said about what these people are doing. And Stormbman has made himself out front. But the other sanctioning bodies, the WBA, the IBF, the WBO, they're not far from him. But he's the worst of the lot. And he wears that proudly, like those shitty trinkets that he makes every other bout or fight card. Yeah, Jose Diaz, that's why the whole thing about tainted meat is BS. I just said the man can afford to grow his own livestock. Just like Deontay Wilder owns the acreage of lands that he owns, he could fish, he could hunt, he could do whatever on his property. So when Bud Crawford started talking of this man, they tried to turn it around into something like he's a disgruntled employee. He doesn't work for you. And you sure as hell don't do any work for he. He's his own man. And you tell me, Mauricio, what in the world does he have to apologize to you for? We're still waiting for an apology from you for Franchon Cruz Discern, where you wrongfully held her title away from her when you had a woman transitioning into a man. And she popped dirty for banned substances because she's taking substances to assist with her transition. She should not have been boxing under that circumstance. You bully her. You bullying Crawford trying to get that $1 million out of him. The cat is out the bag. You guys got limited time because the world can see exactly what you are. Leeches. And no matter how many of these channels you pay off, and some of these folks that have gotten out of the sport of boxing into this whole YouTube thing and social media where they're so-called covering the sport of boxing, giving them a chicken bone here or there, or airline ticket for here or there, or a damn dining pass for here or there, you think that that's gonna make everything okay? Hell no, it ain't. Popping dirty. But if you're a WBC fighter, it's okay. Conor Benn, Subriel Matias, Julio Cesar Martinez, Oscar Alvarez, Oscar Valdez. Yeah. You got so many popping dirty now. Ryan Garcia. Sounds like popcorn popping in a microwave. Jose Diaz says, when they get off the juice, you see the results. They are nothing without that stuff. Of course, that's why they take it, bro. Listen, we're talking about, and I mentioned this, I think, last week when I said that they are so bland without taking something. The fact that they take something, it helps keep them. It doesn't even make them good or great, but it keeps them in competition because without that, they don't measure up. In other words, they're inadequate. That's just like a lot of guys that they feel like they want to take that blue pill, right? So they could be virile and strong and like they were when they were a young guy and all of that stuff when they want to take a woman and lay her down. But without that, you're nothing. Then you look ahead to fights like this coming weekend. Cruz taking on Roach. And you see that Stephen Fulton comes in 2 pounds over the weight limit, so he won't be able to win O'Shaquie Foster's title. So the title is not on the line because this guy couldn't get himself in shape. Funny, it's a WBC title. Jamal Davis, what's happening? Subriel Matias. Is that not a WBC title that Matias has? He popped dirty for the same stuff Ryan popped dirty for. Same substance. Not the same amount, far less amount, which means he almost got it out of his system, but the test people came and caught him. And mind you, you got masking agents that these guys are totally aware of, because the dope man that's giving them the stuff has already told them, hey, you know, if you use this and you do it between here and there, and this is the effect, and this is what the result, and this is how you get rid of it, this and that. They're doing all of that, and they still popping dirty. They gave him 3 shots, and he still couldn't make the weight. They gave him the wrong shots. If they gave him 3 shots of his stuff, maybe he would have made it, huh? According to some of these other dudes. Now, Dalton Smith still got to go in the ring against this guy in January. You know he's juicing. You know it. What are you going to do? What if Dalton Smith suffers a bad injury as a result of damage afflicted in this fight? Do they get to sue Matias? Do they get to sue the WBC? Do they get to sue Mauricio? I'm asking for a friend. and notice that this is all under the WBC. What do we do, people? What do we do? I mean, I got my platform. I could come out here and talk about it like I'm talking about it, but I mean, I don't like it, man. I don't like it. I was talking with one of the brothers earlier today, and I said, when is the last time you could remember from a different era so many young fighters popping dirty or missing weight for fights? And we're not talking about just any fight, but world-class fights, championship bouts. Guys are just not disciplined. They just will not make the sacrifice, because that's what it is. At the end of the day, it's a sacrifice when a fighter makes weight, to cut weight. You don't want to do the dirty work, which is to be in the gym, work hard, diet properly, be disciplined, and not just put any and everything that you could possibly eat on your stomach. This is horrible. It's starting to act a little choppy again. I don't know what that is. Jose says it's better to stay maximum 10 pounds of your weight when you don't have a fight. By the time camp is over, you should be right around without destroying your body. Yeah, like Devin was against Brian Norman Jr. Devin was strong and ready to go. They tried to say he bought muscles. They tried to say that he was on something. He was juicing. Yeah, Jamal Davis are going to talk about the fights tomorrow. There's the zone card from Monte Carlo, where Shabazz Massoud takes on, what's his name, Peter McGrail. These guys, I believe, are super featherweight. Super bantamweight. I'm sorry, I said super featherweight. Super bantamweight. And there's an IBF Intercontinental welterweight fight between Conor Walker and Pat McCormick. It's another Eddie Hearn promotion, so he likes to go to Monaco, Monte Carlo. This fight between O'Shaquie Foster and Stephen Fulton, I was going to do a video and release it for tomorrow morning, but since Fulton missed weight, I may have to edit the video and just release it tomorrow, edit it. But it's unbelievable how undisciplined Stephen Fulton is. It shows why he went over to Japan and got his head knocked off. So the main event will be Pitbull, Cruz taking on Lamont Roach Jr. Should be a good fight because Pitbull is going to bring it to him, but Lamont Roach should not be underestimated. He's talked about going up even higher in weight and talked about going back down to where Oshaki is because he wants unfinished business down there. Lamont Roach is a throwback, y'all. It didn't take Tank Davis to show me because I was feeling that about him to begin with. It's just that the fact that Tank Davis decided not to rematch him told me with the stamp of approval, yes, he is that guy. Yep. And also on that card, you got Shane Mosley Jr. He's going to be taking on Jesus Ramos Jr. I did a video on those guys earlier in the week. That should be an interesting fight. But I did not realize that Shane is 34 years old now. Erislandy Lara will still compete tomorrow with his WBA title. He'll take on veteran Johan Gonzalez. We'll see how that goes. Frank Martin returns to the ring against Francis Bartholomew. I did a live stream earlier this week in my morning on the move. Shout out to Junior the Truth show. Hey, listen. As I said, there's boxing happening, man. You just got to know where to look. Yeah, Jamal Davis, you remember me saying that? I was on Junior the Truth show. Remember that? I think I'm gonna cut out a little early, you guys, because my stream is acting up and I need to shut this computer down. Janet Beck, you're asking, did they strip him? Not that I've heard. I haven't heard of them being stripped. They sure was letting him talk up Terrence Crawford, though, weren't they? They were going to let him go in there all juiced up against Crawford, but he couldn't even get past Lara. It is what it is. To paraphrase that character that 78 got, nah, nanny boo boo, Crawford ain't gonna fight you. How many of y'all see 78 doing that character? Lonnie the Lip. Man, that shit is funny as hell. How the dude's lips is bigger than his whole head, man. What is that? That's a classic by 78 though. That character right there, man. That's better than the old man he do. But that Lonnie the Lip, oh my goodness. And the way he be looking into the camera. Man, I'm just telling you, man. I got my wife's last name. You say he be hating on the LDBC. Let me play my little Tank Davis clip for y'all before I get out of here. Just because, huh? Can't run from the law either, huh? And for the Devin Haney haters out there, especially after he got a hold of Loma and now Brian Norman, huh? Yeah. I gotta get my laptop fixed though, you guys. I got so much stuff I could be doing on here, but not with my limited access. I think next week I'll introduce my Thunderous Top 10. Yeah. But most of y'all didn't even know that I had did a little paint job to my studio. I always like to touch it up every couple of years. It's the details, the details. Well, I'm gonna get ready to head on out of here, people. I'm sorry about my stream cutting up on me this evening, but I gotta get it fixed. Gotta get back to a better place with this streaming, so. So with it being said, I'm going to say shout out to the mighty LDBC. I thank you guys that hung in there with me, even though my stream was acting up. I thank you so much. Appreciate you all. Enjoy your fights this weekend, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace to everybody out there. Have a great weekend.
Get out the way, bitch, get out the way.
If Canelo was 100% confident in himself, I don't know why he wouldn't fight me, especially since, seeing that everybody in his team is on steroids, which means including him, so he never got off
You
the
think
steroids.
he's on steroids?
Of course.
For sure.
How does five
You saw De La Hoya call him out.
how do five people out of your camp get tested positive for steroids?
Right.
You know what I mean? No, all those fucking dudes in that camp are dirty.
Well, it don't matter to me. It's all gonna be the same.
I try it, but my body just no let me go. And you need to accept it. That's it. I hit Crawford, but no clean shots, like with all my power. He's a great fighter. He's a good fighter. He knows how to move and everything.
Oh, what a nice day. Look at Jessica. Jessica, what are you doing? You know you can't swim. Get away from the water, Jessica. Jessica, get away from the... Oh, my God. Somebody help Jessica, please. She can't swim. Go after Jessica, run! Jessica, no! Oh my God! No, Jessica! No, the water is pulling her back in. Where's the lifeguard? Lifeguard, hurry up! You can't swim! Jessica, no! Jesus! Jessica, lifeguard, please save her! Yes, 2 lifeguards! Save her, no! Please, Jessica! Oh, look, hey! That husband is coming! Oh, you one of them dead! Jessica. Hey, please, save her! Jessica! They're coming now! They're here, Jessica!